Good evening. Welcome to Military Strategies. We are live right now with emergency breaking news. April 12, 2026, J.D. Baines, Vice President of the United States of America, who was in negotiations in Pakistan, is going home. This is over. Iran has not accepted the conditions of the United States of America to save lives, to save the regime, to end the war. And now we move on to the scenario we mentioned before. War returns, military operations, sending the regime of the Ayatollahs, the mullahs, back to the Stone Age. Folks, all the details, everything that's happening, everything that's going on, one more night, one more hour, here on Military Strategies, we begin. Folks, good evening. Welcome to Military Strategies. We are live right now. It's 3:52 a.m. in Spain, 4:52 in Israel. 6:52 in the morning in Islamabad. 9:52 in the evening, April 11th in Washington, D.C. Welcome to Military Strategies. Breaking news right now, an exclusive bombshell, total disruption of what's happening right now, of what's going on. Oh my God, this is absolute madness, real madness right now. I'm about to lose it. I'm about to lose it. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. Faster than I expected. I thought they would say tomorrow morning, well, we're leaving, but they've said it tonight, they're leaving, and right now they've just taken off. The NATO plane. Right now, the NATO plane has just taken off, folks. War is back. The alarms are going to start sounding at any moment. The carousel of death, planes loaded with weapons arriving in the area of operations, tanker planes already in the air, everything in the air, and everything can start at any moment. And pay attention, stay alert. What is this? From what takes off from here, from Islamabad, because tonight J.D. Baines is leaving, he's going. From Pakistan. Welcome to Military Strategies. We are live right now, and we have the first reaction from a man who knows a lot about this. He is with us tonight. Dr. Irving Gatell. Dr. Gatell. I'm not sure if he can hear us. Hold on, we'll unmute him. Dr. Gatell live. Good evening, Dr. Gatell.
Hello, Military Strategies. I hear you perfectly.
Dr. Gatell, we are live right now. Emergency broadcast, setting up cameras here. I want to put you in the spotlight. There we go. Oh my, this is crazy. Dr. Gatell, right now we're going to see the statements from J.D. Baines. 30 seconds. It took J.D. Baines 30 seconds to tell Iran, you're going to hell. Check this out, Dr. Gatell. I'm going to share my screen so Dr. Gatell can see it too. Folks, if you haven't subscribed to Enlaced Judeo, subscribe. You can see Dr. Gatell anytime. I don't know if Dr. Gatell has had the chance to see J.D. Baines' statement.
Yes, I already heard it.
Good, you can see it on screen. You're watching it, right? You're watching the program right now. Okay.
I'm watching it now.
Family, we're about to hear this exclusively. And please hit like, because we started earlier than planned. People don't know we're live. I kindly ask you to share the live stream of what just happened. Earthquake. I said it. They're bringing weapons, they're rearming. As soon as the United States gets the logistics in place, we're off again. J.D. Baines, let's listen to him. I'm going to mute Dr. Gatell for a moment. There it is. J.D. Baines.
We've been at it now for 21 hours, and we've had a number of substantive discussions with...
We've been at it now for 21 hours. We've had several discussions.
The Iranians.
That's...
The good news?
The good news is that we have had many meetings with the Iranians.
The bad news is that...
The bad news.
We have not reached an agreement.
We have not reached an agreement.
That's even worse news for Iran.
I think this is worse news for Iran than for the United States.
That it's bad news for the United States, so... We go back to the United States.
We're going to the United States. We're going back to the United States right now, not tomorrow or the day after, right now.
Having not come to an agreement.
We haven't reached an agreement.
We've made it very clear.
We've made it very clear to him.
What our red lines are.
What our red lines are.
What issues we're willing to accommodate them on.
The things we're willing to accommodate them on.
And what we're not willing to accommodate.
And the things we're not willing to swallow.
And we've made that as clear as we can.
We've made it as clear as possible.
Possibly could.
As we could. As clear as we could.
They have chosen not to accept our terms.
And they have chosen not to accept what we have offered him. Our terms. What are those terms? There's another part not shown in this video, and I doubt it'll appear in the others. I heard it live. Nuclear weapons, uranium enrichment. Iran has said no. Dr. Gatell. 1 second, let's unmute Dr. Gatell. Let's give the microphone back to Dr. Gatell. Dr. Gatell.
Yes, well, let's see. I think this was expected to a certain extent. I mean, we already knew that Iran's demands and the demands of the United States were simply incompatible. But yes, as you said, it is surprising how quickly it happened, isn't it? I mean, I think we all would have expected that under other circumstances, Baines would have said, well, we haven't reached any agreement, but tomorrow we're going to keep trying. I mean, it's really striking that he says it's over. And even more so, just to make it clear, we're already heading back to the United States. I mean, if you said, well, we're going to stay here and see what other common ground can be reached, then you'd say, okay, it looks like they're going to try to save the negotiation. But if there's already a decision to return, well, I guess they're already flying back to the United States.
They haven't taken off yet?
They haven't taken off yet? Well, but they're about to. So obviously it seems that the negotiations have indeed broken down, and this really means that the war is starting again. So once again, it seems to be confirmed in this scenario that the United States was just buying time. Well, everyone was just buying time.
Everyone. Iran too.
To rearm themselves. Of course, the difference is that the United States and Israel have all the capacity for that because their military industries are perfectly intact. Iran's are not. I mean, it's said that China sent them more things, but it can't replace everything that was destroyed, and it can't compare.
Dr. Gatell, could today's announcement have been decisive? And right now we're seeing images of the flights of these air operations. Could the announcement that China might send something be decisive? Weapons, so that J.D. Baines has said we need to speed this up before those weapons arrive?
It's likely, yes, of course. It's a pretty reasonable possibility, and it would have been a terrible strategic mistake on the part of China and Iran to do that.
Look at the map right now. All cargo planes carrying material to strike Iran. When might we see operations start again? There will be a 24-hour window tonight. Iran might launch an attack. This is already a breach of the ceasefire. The 2-week period won't be observed. By the way, be careful because tanker planes have already taken off from the United Kingdom heading south. And that could mean B-52s or other aircraft are involved. Be careful because tonight, for Iran may have already begun. Dr. Gatell.
Yes, that's right. I mean, look, just because the talks or negotiations break down doesn't necessarily mean that the conflict or fighting has to start immediately, right? I mean, now we're entering a sort of window of anxiety because we don't know when this is going to start up again. I'm not sure if anyone from the Iranian government will be involved. Galibaf is a beast, as we already know. But people, for example, from Mazu Beseshkian's camp, who want to try to regain the possibility of continuing negotiations, I suppose there will be some. It doesn't make much sense either. Because if Galibaf is opposed to it, and obviously the opposition from the revolutionary forces exists, no matter how much you negotiate with Beseshkian's people, it's useless. So this seems more like there's no solution anymore. But let's see at what moment, at any moment, the bombing could start again. The bombings from one side and the other.
Dr. Gatell, if tonight or now in the morning Galibaf returns to Iran and the plane crashes, well,
It could happen, right? Sometimes accidents happen. I mean, Galibaf has probably put the noose around his own neck. Because yes, Trump's stance, he had already said it before, according to rumors. He said it again recently. I mean, if they refuse to negotiate, we eliminate them and look for someone else to negotiate with.
but it's incredible because J.D. Baines has shaken hands with Galibaf. Yeah, or the man who's going to take you down has shaken your hand.
Yeah, of course, obviously, but that's what Galibaf was exposing himself to if he took an uncompromising stance, right? Now, this is probably the most interesting part, that it was J.D. Baines. Right now, none of the opponents of the war in the United States, especially within the Democratic Party, or even the dissent within the Republican Party, or even the American public, no one will be able to say that all of this is the fault of Trump's intransigence, or Witkoff's, or Kushner's, or Marco Rubio's. Because, I mean, everyone knows that JD belonged to the group within the government that preferred to resolve things in a peaceful way without exposing themselves to war. So that's why they sent Baines, so they can say the goal from the start was for the talks to fail. He was the US guarantee. And this could only fail, which is what's happening right now. If the intransigence was Iranian, then right now within the American government, within the American press, technically there's no longer any excuse to say that the war is the fault of the United States. It's more than evident. I mean, they negotiated with the one who was most willing to negotiate, and still they failed.
We're going to activate the alarm system as a precaution in case Iran starts launching tonight. The tanker aircraft are taking off from Israel, from Ben Gurion. I'm just letting you know that this could blow up at any moment. Let's see who fires first, but Israel is ready. I completely agree with what Dr. Gatell said. Iran asked JD. They asked JD Vance because they know he's a rival of Donald Trump and that he wasn't very comfortable or very convinced about getting us into a war. And now it was JD Vance who told Iran, you had the last chance. Iran knew this was the last chance now. What's coming next? Massive destruction, explosions, destruction of power plants, everything. An attack by land. I think that Dr. Gatell here, this is military strategy. We've been seeing movements of ground troops, assault troops. They're going to assault some site in Iran. That's clear.
And obviously, putting the whole puzzle together, it's clear that the two ships that entered the Strait of Hormuz today are obviously not going there just to inspect, or probably to take note of the latest information they needed to carry out the attack. I think what comes next, very logically, would be the fulfillment of the threat that Trump made before the agreement to negotiate was reached, and the threat of destroying the electrical facilities and the railways. Because by cutting off the electricity, well, you probably take away much of their capability.
Movilizar los misiles.
I mean, obviously, they don't move those missiles by pushing them. I mean, they need a whole electrical installation to move them. So most likely the attack would also start there. That was Trump's threat. I believe it will happen. It's strategically useful for the United States. And, well, exactly. I mean, during all this time, they've mainly been gathering troops and assault equipment. So probably the most logical thing is that we'll see an attack on the island of Kars. That would be the most logical, considering that the regime's finances depend on it. So If you leave them in the first hours without electricity, without roads to move around, and without money, then obviously you're basically checkmating them.
Dr. Gatell and everyone here, please family, hit the like button right now because it's super important. They want to censor the live stream. They want to censor this information. Right now, we're almost the only ones in the Spanish-speaking world really reporting what's happening without adding anything because there's no need to add anything. The situation is already serious as it is. Israel today and tonight was preparing to resume attacks against Iran. And I insist with this image, the tankers are taking off from Ben Gurion. Who does Dr. Gatell believe will shoot first?
Wow, well, look, obviously this is somewhat unpredictable, but we're already used to Israel usually being the one to surprise everyone, always catching the regime off guard. And since yesterday, Israel has been saying
Tiene día y medio.
that the Israeli government is saying, we are preparing for the possibility that the negotiations might fail, and this could explode into the worst possible war. I mean, Israel has been taking these precautions for several hours now, so it wouldn't surprise me if the next move once again comes from Israel. Let's remember that Israel already changed the policy it maintained for decades, where it only reacted to enemy aggression. Because it was a defense army. That was the paradigm during the era of Ben Gurion. That no longer exists. Israel has already taken on the responsibility of taking the initiative in case of war, because sometimes it's preferable to strike first. And I think the advantages of that have been demonstrated both in 2025, in June 2025, and on February 28th of this year. So I wouldn't be surprised if Israel strikes first again, catching Iran by surprise or destroying the things Iran was already starting to prepare for. But, for an attack.
What Molchava must be thinking right now.
Well, I don't know. I keep insisting that Molchava is dead. I mean, he hasn't
Said anything. The one who really has to be thinking is the one who actually leads, Kalibov. What must he be thinking right now? By the way, we have a statement from Iran, which I saw around here. It's just that, since it happened so suddenly, I read it. Yes, Ismail Bakai, who is also there, who is in Islamabad. I'm going to show you, well, I'm going to look for a photo so you know who each of the people involved in this story is. He is like a kind of spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Another one who has also suddenly gotten involved in this whole story, you know, within the group marked for elimination by Israel. Let's look for a photo of the aforementioned person so people can more or less identify him. Okay, we already have it here. He has also made a statement that when I read it, I thought, well, tomorrow they're going to talk about it. When I saw Iran's statement, I said, well, they've opened a door, tomorrow they'll talk. This is the guy. Okay, I'll read it to you, Dr. Gatell. I'll read this to you. Maybe you've seen it. Diplomacy for us. I'm going to mute you for a second. Diplomacy for us. Here's what it says. This is Iran, okay? It's the continuation of the sacred jihad of the defenders of the land of Iran. We have not forgotten and will not forget the betrayals and misdeeds of the United States. In the same way, we will not forgive the heinous crimes committed by them and the Zionist regime during the imposed war. Second and third, today has been a long and busy day for the delegation of the Islamic Republic of Iran in Islamabad. The intense negotiations which began this Saturday morning with the commendable efforts and mediation of Pakistan have continued without interruption until now, and numerous messages and texts have been exchanged between both parties. The Iranian negotiators are using all their capabilities, experience, and knowledge to safeguard the rights and interests of Iran. The painful blow of losing our great leaders, loved ones, and fellow countrymen has strengthened our determination to pursue the interests and rights of the Iranian community and nation. More than ever, nothing can or should stop us in the pursuit of our great historical mission regarding our beloved homeland and the noble Iranian civilization. I don't know if he is referring to the destruction of Israel or not, because that is Iran's great historical mission. The Islamic Republic of Iran is determined to use all tools, including diplomacy, to guarantee national interests and protect the country's affairs. In the last 24 hours, there have been discussions about various aspects of the main negotiation topics, including the Strait of Hormuz, the nuclear issue, war reparations, the lifting of sanctions, and the complete end of the war against Iran in the region. The success of this diplomatic process depends on the seriousness and good faith of the other party. The extension of excessive demands and illegal requests, and the acceptance of Iran's legitimate rights and just interests. We express our gratitude to the government and the warm and noble people of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan for their hospitality during the negotiations and their commendable efforts in advancing this process. This was Ismail Bakay. Dr. Gatell, any reactions?
Look, the question you asked me, what might they be thinking? Well, obviously, there are two major cognitive dissonances here. One is that Iran is in a position to demand it's the same mistake. Letting us go now, Iran is making that mistake. Before, it was just Hamas in relation to Israel. Now it's Iran in relation to the whole world or all of history. That's how important this is, but it's the same mistake. I mean, not fully realizing what your situation is, and look, and this to a large extent is the fault of Iranian propaganda itself. I mean, Iran knows that its propaganda is successful in the West. I mean, there are a lot of people who repeat it, who spread it everywhere. Are you reading? No, it's just that Iran already beat the United States.
Yes, well, we've been seeing this. Dr. Gatell, the United States surrenders, the United States surrenders.
But look, see, the problem is that you realize that and then think the strategy is working. Then you lose touch with reality and get to what is not propaganda, to what is real life, to concrete objective facts, with real people, flesh and blood. And you end up demanding, pardon the expression, a bunch of nonsense. Or I want you to give me $7 billion. No, that's what Iran was doing. I mean, I want you to unblock those funds for me, he said. I mean, I just hit you hard, so why would I unblock those funds for you? Just because you ask me so you can build more missiles? Obviously, no. I mean, obviously, we're talking about an Iran that came in asking for completely unrealistic, delusional things that the United States was simply never going to accept. And again, we come back to the point. Are we negotiating with irrational people? I mean, this is where people have pointed out, for example, the limits of game theory within game theory. Are you thinking that the other person, the opponent, is also looking for a strategy to beat you? But obviously, a rational strategy, not a strategy based on absurdity or magical thinking. And this is the second point, the second cognitive dissonance of Iran. So, in the end, are you talking about religious fanatics who believe that this apocalyptic war has to happen and that it even should happen? Is that right? So that the manifestation of divine glory will be greater. Because at the most difficult moment of all, when destruction is about to come, the miracle happens. That's how apocalyptic thinking works. So I say, I mean, with those people, what can you negotiate? Well, J.D. Vance has already run into Perez too, at least to a certain extent. This takes away points in the race for the presidency in 3 years. Because it shows, I mean, he's given the opportunity and doesn't deliver results. You'll see soon if Marco Rubio will take a stand on Cuba, just like he did with Venezuela, and he'll do it with Cuba too. So,
that's a great analysis. That's great, Doctor
Gatell. Thank you, but well, so right now, obviously not, that's all. It's Vance clashing with Perez. It's obviously the entire American bloc that's against the war. Realizing that, well, not even Vance could do it, and now the next one who's going to clash with Perez is Iran. And as Vance said, it's going to be worse for them.
We're live, family. Please remember to hit like. It's super important. 24,000 people right now, but only 7,900 likes. Please support the channel so this message can reach more people. We have the full 3-minute statement. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. We're going to watch it again for those of you who are just joining us now. J.D. Vance said tonight we're leaving, but be careful because Dr. Gatell on Inari TV is saying they're going to meet in the morning. We don't know if they're going to meet with Pakistan, with the guy who shines shoes at the hotel, with the bellboy, with the maid. I don't know who Iran is going to meet with because J.D. Vance is going home. If this changes in the next 2 hours, because it's already 5 or 6 in the morning in Islamabad, it's a joke. If J.D. Vance has come out and said we're leaving, there's no turning back. Or is there, Dr. Gatell, before we see J.D. Vance?
Mira, bueno, no nos cerremos to that 0.5% chance that there might be a reversal. But I repeat, I think at this point, J.D. Vance y todos, the American delegation, They know full well that this doesn't make any sense. I mean, because aside from the negotiation itself, the Revolutionary Guards are outside of this negotiation and they're still on a war footing. What about the bloc that came to negotiate, the supposedly reasonable faction opposed to the Guards? The only way J.D. Vance and the U.S. delegation would stay in Islamabad and say, okay, let's negotiate, is if the Iranians actually said, we accept the U.S. conditions.
I mean, for Galibaf to knock on J.D. Vance's door this morning, get on his knees and say, we accept.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I don't see any other way to convince the Americans to keep playing this game.
Let's listen, everyone. 3 minutes. Yeah.
Good morning, everybody, and let me say a couple of words of appreciation. First of all, to the Prime Minister of Pakistan and to Field Marshal Munir, who were both incredible.
I want to thank the Prime Minister of Pakistan and Field Marshal Munir. They have been incredible. They have been very hospitable.
And any shortcoming in the negotiation was not because of the Pakistanis, who did an incredible job.
We're here because the Pakistanis did a great job.
And really tried to help us and the
They have tried to help us with Iran.
Iranians bridge the gap.
To close the gap that existed between us and reach an agreement.
We have been at it now for 21 hours.
We have now been negotiating for 21 hours.
And we have had a significant number of discussions.
That's the good news. The bad news is that we haven't reached an agreement.
I haven't reached an agreement, and I think that's bad news for DICE.
I think this is worse news for Iran than for the United States.
Much more than it's bad news for the United States of America, so we go back.
So we're going back to the United States of America.
United States having not come to an agreement.
And we're not bringing back an agreement.
We have made it very clear what
our red lines are.
What things we're willing to accommodate them on and what things we're
what we can accommodate and what we can't.
We are not willing to accommodate them. And we have made that as clear as possible.
And they have chosen not to accept our terms. Thank you.
What are your
cuestiones, preguntas?
What have they rejected here?
Can you tell me what the Iranians have rejected?
Can you help us understand?
Can you help us understand this?
Well,
J.D. Baines is going to say now what the Iranians have rejected.
To all the details, since I don't want to negotiate, he says,
I don't want to say all the details because otherwise we wouldn't have negotiated behind closed doors. He says we would have done it in public. We have done it for 21 hours in private.
But the simple fact is that we need to see
a commitment, clear commitments.
That they are not seeking a nuclear weapon.
That they are not seeking a nuclear weapon.
And they will not seek the tools that would enable them.
And that they are not seeking the tools to build one.
To rapidly obtain a nuclear weapon. That is the main objective.
So that they don't have the tools to quickly obtain a nuclear weapon. That has been the clear position of the President of the United States. And that's what we've tried to achieve through negotiations.
Again, and their new nuclear program, just as
the nuclear program as it stands,
the enrichment facilities that the
uranium enrichment facilities they had before have been destroyed.
But the simple question is, we see a
la simple cuestión es, but we have seen fundamentals,
the commitment
or commitments
of the Iranians not to develop
nuclear weapons.
They say
not now, they say not in 2 years, but
for a
long period of time. We haven't seen it, and we're going to help you. We're going to help you to see it. We're going to help you.
Jen.
Is there a framework about nothing? Did the athletes present themselves? Have you reached any conclusions about the cold athletes?
What are your conclusions about the Iranians? What do you think about this? We have talked about all the issues.
And we talked about a number of topics beyond that.
We have talked about many topics.
Again, we
de nuevo,
just could not get to a situation.
We can't get to a situation
where the Iranians are willing to.
Where the Iranians don't accept our terms. We're going to get to that situation. We have been quite flexible.
The president told us that we need to come here in good faith.
The president says he has told us to come here in good faith, with good intentions, and to make your best effort to reach an agreement.
Deal. We did that
We have done it. But unfortunately,
to make any headway.
but we haven't done it or gone down that path. No.
No. Did you communicate with President Trump throughout?
How often have you communicated with President Donald J. Trump?
There are reports that there were multiple rounds.
And have there been reports of several calls at different times?
What were the gaps between the negotiations?
Between the breaks during the negotiations?
How often did you communicate with the President
How frequently did you speak with Donald J.
Trump? And did he tell you? Negotiations that you said fell short.
Yeah, obviously we were talking to
Obviously, we've been talking with President Trump
constantly.
constantly.
I'm not sure how often we've talked today.
He says he doesn't know how often we've talked today. Dozens of times.
In
The last 21 hours.
we obviously also talked to Admiral Cooper, to Pete, to
We've talked to a lot of people, with Pete Hegseth, with a lot of people
with Marco, with the team.
of...
Security, we've talked to Scott a bunch of times.
We've talked to everyone several times. He says we're in direct contact with the team constantly.
Because we want to negotiate in good faith. And we leave here,
And we're leaving here.
and we're staying here with a simple purpose.
We're leaving here with a very simple proposal. Simple.
A method of understanding that is our final and best offer.
This is our last final offer.
We'll see if the Iranians accept it. Thank you.
Let's see if the Iranians accept it. This is curious and interesting. And I'll turn it back over to Dr. Gatell. Eddie Baines' last words, Dr. Gatell, seemed to leave it open for the Iranians to accept, but well, let them call us on the phone or send us a message.
Yes, that's what we were just talking about a moment ago, right? I mean, obviously, there will still be a very small window to resume negotiations. But at this point, I mean, it's not just about telling the United States, okay, let's negotiate. If you just say that, it doesn't make sense. The United States will say, don't waste my time. I mean, obviously, J.D. Baines is saying we gave them these terms and it's the last chance they have. I mean, what we were saying is that they should just come and say, we accept the terms, basically come and surrender already. The United States at this point, I don't think is going to accept any other possibility. I mean, it's now or never. There's no other option and it has to be now. I mean, if they manage to do it right now, maybe we'll have one more day of negotiations. Now, what are they going to achieve? If they go back to the negotiating table and Iran comes back again, the same thing. It's that we have the right to control the Strait of Hormuz, to charge a toll. We want them to return the $7 billion, but the United States is going to tell them to go to hell. Repeating ourselves is pointless.
He was very angry. J.D. Baines, of course.
Of course, for him, it's a personal failure. I mean, this is also a personal failure for him. Okay, it's understood that it's not his fault, right?
But Gatell, it was known that this wasn't going to go anywhere. I mean, let's see. Anyone with a little bit of common sense or with a little bit of intelligence knew that this wasn't going to go anywhere.
Obviously, but look at the whole personal situation of J.D. Baines. I mean, for one thing, he's competing, he's confronting Donald Trump's policy. I mean, it's a confrontation within the limits of what's controllable. I mean, we're not seeing an uprising, of course, but it's known that Baines was kind of the dissident, right? At least in theory. He never said he'd sabotage the war or anything like that, but he was the one who disliked the situation. That's for starters. Second, he's competing with Marco Rubio, and even though there's still a long way to go, everyone knows that. And Marco Rubio, in Venezuela, he had tremendous success, and everyone knows he's going to do the same in Cuba. So, there's a competition for results here, but that's another matter. J.D. Gantz comes with this whole group of people supporting him, like Tucker Carlson, and all this, I mean, all this waste of journalism, of pseudo-journalism that's done in the United States, and they've been insistently trying to sell the idea that, thanks, yes, thanks for the comment, trying to sell. The notion that Iran wants peace, wants to negotiate, that everything is the United States' fault, that everything is Israel's fault. And well, obviously, this leaves them without an excuse because the one who was going to negotiate from a more aligned perspective was J.D. Gans. And well,
Yes.
yes, exactly. Yes, I mean, we're seeing, like I said, this cognitive dissonance from the Iranians, right? I mean, do they really not understand what's going on? Or, well, they don't get it, of course. But do they really believe that the propaganda success they've had can be translated into material success, into actual objective success? I mean, that was the eternal mistake of Hamas. That was the eternal mistake of Hezbollah,
Well,
obviously, because it was the strategy devised in Iran. But right now, we're seeing how this idea, this success, look how interesting.
excuse me. I was muted. I don't know. My microphone got muted. I was saying that the previous comment, the previous super chat came in 48 hours ago. Donald J. Trump said they're alive to negotiate, not for anything else. They're going to kill Aratzia.
All these people, and they're going to find out that all their propaganda was useless. What I was going to say is, look how interesting this is. Precisely the success they've had with propaganda for decades, because we're not just talking about right now. This period of war has always been about the success they've had with propaganda. That's what fooled even them, and that's why they're making those mistakes. And probably Galibaf and all of them will be the first to find out. Too bad they won't be able to talk about it.
As soon as Galibaf and Aratzia's plane lands, and wherever Pecheskiam is, 40 seconds.
Who knows what's going to happen?
That's right. Oh my goodness. If I were Galibaf, I wouldn't return to Iran. Yes.
No. I mean, he would let his hair grow long, trim his beard, have a neater mustache, and he would get hair implants.
Because he's bald, but well.
The little bit of hair he does grow, right? Yeah.
It's a curious thing, Dr. Gatell, because just tonight a statement came out saying that 5 more planes with Iranians had arrived in Pakistan. Are they evacuating people because they know something is about to happen there?
It's likely. It makes sense. Yeah, I'm telling you, so Galibaf should just start dressing casually like me and go live his life disguised as a peasant in some Pakistani mountain and hope no one finds him.
Make tandoori or something like that? Dr. Gatell, Israel? What scenario is this for Israel? How do you see the situation right now? Is this beneficial for Netanyahu? What's the situation?
Well, look, the scenario for Israel is obviously the restart of the war. I think the most violent Iranian attacks are coming, especially in terms of quantity and quality. I don't think there's much left for Iran to show in terms of destructive capability. Let's say the destructive power of the missiles, but I suppose they're going to try to launch as much as possible because, well, they must sense it. They're basically in the final round. Israel is clearly facing both quantitative and qualitative Iranian attacks.
This is the last dance.
That's right. So the Israeli population obviously already knows that this is going to be exhausting, but we're getting close to the end because, as we've said before, wars are not eternal. Wars have to end at some point, and this one too. So let's say this is the difficult part for Israel, but it's something manageable. Up to this point, it's always been within the expected range. Now, here's the other question, the opposite. What's coming next for Israel? Well, yes, Netanyahu, obviously this is convenient for him politically, but it's also convenient for Israel. I mean, here we really need to stop overthinking Netanyahu's interests.
Dr. Gatton, Reiki News. Reiki News right now, folks, on military strategy. May Dr. Gatton forgive me. Attention. Attention. We're live right now. 31,000 people watching, and we need a lot more likes. Big news right now. Heads up. Right now, live. Air Force 2. The Vice President's plane of the United States of America is leaving Islamabad, Pakistan. It just took off. The negotiating team is leaving. They're going. You're on your own, Iran. And now you're going to see what's going to happen. There won't be a meeting in the morning. There won't be any turning back. Oh my God. We're live, family. Please like and comment. There's Dr. Gatell.
That's what I was telling you. I mean, if Iran was just going to say, well, that's it, let's calm down, right? Just like in the meme. And then we're going to negotiate. Negotiate what? I gave you the conditions. Do you accept them or not? No, let's negotiate. Fine, goodbye. I'm leaving. Period. That's it. I mean, I repeat, if it was going to be the same thing all over again, if they were going to come back to the table so Iran could ask for its $7 billion again, so it could ask, well, demand that its right to set up tolls in Hormuz be recognized, etc.
I mean,
Quite simply, for the United States, that just doesn't make sense anymore. So, I mean, if it wasn't about surrendering, the United States is not going to accept it. There won't be any negotiations, and it was just going to be a repeat of the same thing, right? So, well, it seems that he left, and that's what happened. That's how we predicted it. That's how it happened. And right now, they're already reporting to us that Air Force Two, I mean, the vice president's plane, Air Force One is the president's. It's the vice president leaving Islamabad. And with this, practically all possibility of negotiation is canceled.
there it is. There's the plane. No tricks at all. We don't make up news here. Right now, San 029 is heading home. Maybe he'll stop in Israel, Dr. Gatell.
It's possible maybe here or maybe a layover in Cyprus or some other trusted place, right? But, well,
Maybe to visit the troops if Biden wants to score some points that way, or say, I've been there too. I've been with the troops.
take a picture. Yes, that would be good for him. You know, it would do him good. I mean, to recover a bit of what wasn't achieved, but also, I mean, it would be really good.
Well, the plane is heading to Afghanistan, huh? Careful. Let's see. Let's bring it up. Well, it's disappeared. It's disappeared.
Yeah, it's already in mode.
In ghost mode? Ghost mode? Let's hope that's all. Something happened to him. No.
No, they clearly do it, so he can't.
So he can't. For security, right? For security. What a night, Dr. Gatell. Oh my God.
And what's coming our way? We're going to have a ton of work next week.
I think starting this morning, we're going to have a ton of work. Dr. Gatell, thank you very much for joining us live.
No, on the contrary, thank you for the strategies. Well, the time seemed strange to me. I thought, well, when I saw it was your call, I said, okay, something happened.
Something happened. I don't usually call at this hour, you know?
I mean, here in Mexico, it's 8:36 at night, right? So it's a reasonable time here, but I knew for you it wasn't. So I thought, okay, something really happened this time. So we had to check what was going on with this.
That's huge.
Mhm.
That's huge. I honestly thought, Dr. Gatell, that there was going to be a new round. Sorry, that Dr. Gatell was very quiet. I thought there would be a new round of negotiations this morning, maybe just to buy time and say we're here for a day or two or over the weekend. Well, this is moving fast.
Yes, that's right. I also had the impression that not necessarily to negotiate, but just to buy some time. They were going to take a little longer to get everything ready. But then everything seems to indicate that the United States was already pretty well settled on the ground and can afford to stop the negotiation right now.
Well, that's it. Everything's ready. Dr. Gatell, let's go to sleep. We've got a tough day ahead of us.
My dear Estrategias, good luck, get some rest, and we'll see each other along the way because it's going to be a long journey, but we'll walk it together.
That's right. Dr. Gatell from Inlay Studio. You can see him every day. Great shows, great channel, great Inlay Studio community, which is also part of this community. It's incredible. What can I say? We weren't wrong. We're not going to pat ourselves on the back because this one was easy. This scenario we're seeing was very easy to understand. Israel didn't launch an invasion operation in southern Lebanon just to leave 2 weeks later. The United States doesn't mobilize all its forces just to leave after 4 weeks without taking the prize, which is Iran. There are a lot of details. There are many stories we've been seeing during these 5, 4, or a little over a month of war. And it was clear, even though on other channels, in other places, in other media, this has been a defeat. The United States is seeking an easy exit and wants to leave. They could have left tonight. We've reached an agreement. Yes, let them do whatever they want. Bam, bam, we wash our hands of it. See you later. No. No. People don't understand what the danger of Iran is. People haven't wanted to understand, or a part of this planet doesn't want to understand where we are. But anyway, thank you for trusting us. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for showing your support in every comment, also for your super chats, and also for your support through PayPal. All the military strategies, all the help you give to this channel, which is not funded by anyone, but shows every day that we are a serious channel doing analysis of serious topics. Israel, strength and honor in the face of what's coming. The last dance, the last battle. There's little left. Let's do it together. Family, see you in the next show here on Military Strategies. Take care.